Yo, it's your boy JTG, and I know you're here for the Wrestlemania predictions, but let's keep it real. You're really here to hear me. Cheer!
Thanks, JTG, and that's right, because on this episode, it is WrestleMania time predictions. We're going to talk about Triple H versus Roman Reigns, the Hell in a Cell match, the Go Home Raw to WrestleMania, that and much more right now on Byte That. Hey gang, what is going on? You're listening to episode 136 of Byte That's weekly wrestling podcast, the place where we talk about that, which is the WWE. And we have a super mega show tonight because the Go Home Raw to WrestleMania 32 is in the bag. And here we are to bring our WrestleMania 32 predictions. Plus, if you're on the channel, you know the deal. Last night, we published an interview with former WWE superstar JTG, one half of the tag team known as Crime Time. You can check out the interview right now. But if you have not listened to it, keep listening to the episode. We're going to give you a little bit of a snippet. And after this is done, you can go check that out and have yourself a really good time. Plus, remember, the podcast is available every single Tuesday night. So next week, after WrestleMania, is the Raw after WrestleMania, the mega show, and we're going to talk about that. So if you like all of this, make sure to support us, subscribe. We're almost at 5K subscribers right here on YouTube. So thank you for being awesome and being part of the family. My name is Juan Velas. I am from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and joining me, Ryan McNulty from Boston, Massachusetts, and he's hot, he's spicy. I don't know if he tastes great, but it's Keith Poshik from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Guys, it's here, WrestleMania.
Woo!
You guys ready?
Oh, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
I finally crossed that threshold. I crossed the threshold. It's Mania, baby. We're there, and I'm excited.
Did you guys miss me last week?
You were gone?
I did.
Oh.
Ow.
No, yeah.
Ouch,
man.
That hurts. That hurts, guys.
It's so
interesting. I said yes.
Yeah, no.
Blame him. Blame the Puerto Rican.
I'm gonna take it back.
What's up, man?
Let me explain. No, it is true though. We really did miss you because usually it's me or Keith, and you're like the glue, or you're like the sandwich.
You're our anchor. Like I said, we were just lost at sea last week because our anchor wasn't there to hold us down.
Exactly. So you're back.
It's true, and people came out of the woodwork saying how much they miss me, saying I equal ratings. So, I
Keith
don't know.
cried a little bit after the show.
I haven't checked the numbers last week, but wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a dip.
Let's be real. I cry after every show, though.
Yeah, but just in case, there is a big political campaign happening in the background. So if you do hear sirens or music or fancy stuff, politics in Puerto Rico, crazy thing. I know the elections are a long way off.
I have questions.
Oh, boy.
What is Puerto Rican political campaign music? What does that sound like?
Oh, my God. See, this is where if I give the real answer, it's so stereotypical.
See, that's what I want to know.
Oh,
just tell me. Just tell me. Don't leave us hanging.
I'm just going to give one example of a former campaign. Remember the Macarena?
I do.
Yep.
They made me do it in kindergarten.
Yep. Well, that was...
And your elected official decided
when was it? How long ago was this?
Oh, it was when it was hot, but he won.
Okay.
Like, that guy won. Okay. So the guy with the Macarena dance, he became...
so what's everyone using now?
Just stereotypical salsa, merengue.
Pitbull a big one?
But on the way home, it took me like an extra 20 minutes because one of them had a reggaeton, which is the Puerto Rican version of hip hop. And it was like, yo, you know the deal. I want to help you guys out. So you got to vote for me. And I just drove away, and I'm not voting for that guy.
I'm the happiest man in the world right now.
Yeah, come on over, Keith. We need some more Canadians in Puerto Rico. It's always good. And something that is also good, Raw. Or at least, I thought it was a pretty good Raw. And by the way, this format for the episode is going to be a little bit different. What we're going to do, instead of dividing predictions and our overall impressions on each storyline, we're lumping all of them into their own segments. So when we talk about AJ Styles Jericho, we're going to give our overall impressions on the build-up. And at the end, then we'll announce who we believe is going to win. But yeah, last year's Go Home Raw to WrestleMania was ill-received, especially the conclusion where we had the tug of war between Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Did you guys think that this go-home Raw was a little bit better? Keith first, because I could tell that Ryan is not a big fan of it. So, Keith.
Raw was great at the beginning, but then after that, it was just a gradual slope down into boringness. Like the ending segment, the whole Triple H Roman Reigns thing, I wasn't a big fan of. The Undertaker Shane McMahon thing, I think, is one of the best segments in months, probably all year so far as I'm concerned. And but anything is better than the go home last year, especially that last segment. Oh my God, it was god awful. So it was a better one in that respect, but that's not saying a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Keith on that. Was the ending segment better than the tug of war between Lesnar and Reigns? Absolutely, but the overall, did the show get me any more excited for WrestleMania? Not really. And unfortunately, me and Juan really missed live the best part. We were finishing up that interview with JTG that he wanted to mention we recorded, and it like that was the best part with Shane and Undertaker, and I've not yet been able to go back and watch the full thing. I did obviously see Shane McMahon do that awesome, his signature elbow drop to the announce table.
But that wasn't even the best part. They just spat hot fire against each other.
I need to go and watch that.
And the crowd was just so into it. Like every time one of them like just said a line, it was kind of like one of those scenes you think of when there's a rap battle going on and somebody spits a line and everybody's like, oh!
Okay, then question, Keith. Awesome. Question. Did that segment change the pecking order of the matches that you're looking forward to the most?
Absolutely not. I still solidly believe what I think the match is going, or match of the night is going to be. I still believed that. Did it make me more excited for the show? Yes. It was actually interesting because after that first segment, I was hyped for WrestleMania, but as the rest of the night kind of kept going, I was less and less excited. Like, okay, that was really good. That was perfect.
So it didn't change your excitement for level of matches at all, like, or was Shane and Undertaker already number 2 for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a very far number 1 ahead of it.
Yeah, no, I think, first of all, I guess I also missed that Zack Ryder beat Chris Jericho. Am I correct on that?
He did. Think about that. Zack Ryder has a win over Chris Jericho.
I assume there was some shenanigans involved.
There was. Let's say that the shenanigans were phenomenal.
Oh.
Understood.
Yeah. And it casually led to a WrestleMania match.
It did, kind of. That's the one that everybody knew was going to happen.
But Jericho tweeted that it wasn't going to happen. He lied to us. How could he?
Right.
Two gripes, though, I want to get out of the way that I have with this Raw was, A, the Brock Lesnar Dean Ambrose thing. They had done a very good job of building that up. And then
that was weird.
To just have Dean Ambrose come out with a wagon and collect some toys. I can't say the word weapon, right? We gotta be we gotta keep it strictly politically correct in WWE terms, of course. And just ignoring Brock Lesnar and collecting his weapons. I mean, I kind of get like he's trying to like make a statement by ignoring him, but he was calling out Lesnar at every opportunity all the other weeks before, and now all of a sudden he doesn't want to fight.
I don't know if you noticed, but Brock Lesnar improvised and Dean Ambrose sort of ignored him. Did you see that when that kendo stick went into the ring, you could sort of tell that wasn't supposed to really happen because Brock just kept looking at it, eventually grabbed it, he went over to the ropes and was just casually holding it, hoping Dean Ambrose would see it and maybe react, but he just ignored him. So Dean Ambrose walked off, and you saw Lesnar looking directly at him like, hey, man, here's a good opportunity for you to like push it aside or something. But I think the build-up for that match has been good enough that they do it. Them doing something so different is, I guess, okay. It's acceptable.
It didn't hurt it, but it didn't make you anticipate it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like the opposite of Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker, where Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose in a street fight just kind of sells itself. You don't need this big elaborate build-up in order to buy it. where on the other side of the coin, you need this whole reasoning and all that. Like, I am excited for Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose just on the fact that that match is going to be incredible.
But at some point, you have to keep in mind that a lot of people that are casual viewers only watch the Big Four, right? So maybe they only watch this Raw before WrestleMania. So the only context that you get is Dean Ambrose going out there completely ignoring Brock Lesnar and just walking off. And that's supposed to be a good build-up, because I do agree. I think that overall this Raw was better than last year's Go-Home Raw, especially the end. But it felt so obvious that they started off hot, and everything else, it seemed like, well, we gave it all we had at the beginning, so the other segment can't top that, because that spot at the beginning is what needs to get people talking. Why not go overboard? Like, this is it. Like,
I know, right?
Even to that point, Juan, for the fan that just watches the Big Four, you don't need this big elaborate build with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar kind of sells himself. If you're somebody that watches only the Big Four, you've seen most of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock does, but not Dean.
I mean,
That's
they're going
true.
to watch WrestleMania anyway, right? If they're already going to watch the Big Four, and they'll do the little video package beforehand. I want to get to point number 2 of my issue
Yes, of
with
course.
this Go Home Raw, and that was we had the Triple H promo like an hour in or something like that. And then like the main event build thing was, oh, we're going to go out and we're just going to talk again. It was basically like we got the exact same segment twice. And there was that great comment on Reddit where they were saying if someone fell asleep during the first Triple H promo and woke up during the second, they would think that the program had just run all the way through the show.
The whole thing, to the point where Roman Reigns came out again. Even I thought, like, this seems like a parody or something. Are they mocking us or something? Because maybe the crowd didn't react the way they wanted it in the first one, so they thought it would magically change or something. It didn't. And the crowd at the end was absolutely mild. I was watching Raw with Keith, and I was telling you, they're not booing, they're not cheering. You're in New York. So by default, they're going to react somehow. And the crowd was absolutely normal for the last image before the 100,000 plus people edition of WrestleMania.
I mean, if you want a good indication on how this show failed, they lost the crowd during a match that had Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. You know, you had a big 6-man tag match with all the Intercontinental people, Dolph Ziggler, Stardust, all of that, and they lost the crowd.
Yeah, that says something, especially when the crowd was so hot at the beginning of that show. It should have maintained it, should have been able to keep that pace, but they just didn't.
Oh yeah, one last thing about this Go Home Raw though, we have to throw in a little bit of logic into wrestling, which is always a dangerous thing. There was another comment on Squared Circle, I wish I could give credit, but I don't know who it was. They said, you know, why is everyone interfering at the end during the Roman Reigns Triple H thing as opposed to the Undertaker Shane McMahon thing, where that actually in kayfabe affects their livelihood? You know, if Shane wins, then they would seemingly think that their lives would get better.
Ryan, your logic ain't welcome here, boy.
Yeah, I mean, let's actually just go to the predictions, because it did feel weird. Like the whole Raw felt weird. I think it was a good build up to WrestleMania, but just something didn't click aside from the beginning. But here's how we're going to go about things. We're just going to bring up a specific match, and we're just going to shoot the breeze about it. We're going to go back and forth between what we think about the match itself, any potential. Somewhere along the way, we may bring up who we think is going to have the match of the night. So without further ado, let's get to the WrestleMania build-up with somebody that actually doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. So Luke Harper's out of action, guys. Unfortunately, the injuries continue to happen. He's out. He's apparently going to be out for like 6 months or something, which is crazy. And the Wyatt family does not have a match at Mania. They're probably going to be in the Battle Royal and the Armbar. But what I want to bring to the table, I'm just going to throw it out there, and our resident Bray Wyatt expert, Ryan McNulty, can kick this off first. Is it a good thing that the Wyatt family does not have a match at WrestleMania?
I don't think so at all. I think it's just the circumstance of them not being booked well the entire year. And, you know, they had Bray Wyatt had 2 high-profile matches, 2 straight WrestleManias, lost both of them, and has been booked terribly ever since. Never really comes out of the feuds that really matter winning, and I think because of that booking, he's just kind of fallen by the wayside. I don't think he's completely out of the show. I think, like you said, he's probably going to be in the Battle Royal, but that is a huge, huge downgrade
and
from
he
the
may not
previous
even
2
win
years.
that.
It's really sad to see because this guy should be getting better and better every year and moving up the card every year, but instead he's going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. It's not necessarily a good thing, but it's just a big sign of where everything has gone for Bray Wyatt.
I think it's actually a good thing. Regardless of what happens after, I would rather him not have a match than we have this monthly conversation of Bray Wyatt's going to have a match, which he's supposed to win, and we're supposed to boo him because he's the bad guy. He loses, and we're supposed to still care. Regardless of what happens after Mania, just shove him away, repackage him, or apparently he's going to go to Wall Street, or he did like a I forget the thing in New York.
They do like the opening the bell of when the
that thing
stock opens or whatever.
So hey, they're doing something right.
That's what following the
It's
buzzards
probably-
gets you. The New York Stock Exchange.
Before
Oh
I
my
even saw
God.
that they were doing like the bell thing as a promotional thing for WrestleMania, I just saw that one picture of them at the New York Stock Exchange. And
They
I was like,
look
this
so
has to be the
cute.
most random photo. And someone kind of compared it to like Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. It's like they were going to do something like
oh
that.
my God, I never even thought of that. That's amazing.
Well, we're here at the Wall Street.
That is the worst Bane I've ever heard.
We're going to follow the buzzards.
Okay, so without further ado, we already brought up the armbar, so let's bring up the armbar again. The
So,
20
hold on,
man.
a little bit of context.
We're
We're calling it the armbar. We mean the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But the reason why it's called the armbar is a little thing that was coined on Squared Circle, I believe. It's because Andre's real name is Andre, I'm going to botch this, Rosimov? Andre Rosimov. So it's the Andre Rosimov Memorial Battle Royal, the armbar.
And they threw an
Armbar.
A in there for fun.
Because it's battle. B-A. Battle.
Oh, battle. Oh,
That's a close one.
it's a little forced.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, but it is happening, possibly on the pre-show last year. Big Show won it. Cesaro has won it previously. We do not know all of the entrants, so it's not a case where we can predict based on who we know is in there. I mean, the Social Outcasts are in there, Big Show, Kane. Considering Big Show won last year, I think anybody can really win this. So, Ryan, Keith, myself, what do you guys think about the armbar? Do you care about it, and who's going to win?
I don't care about it but because they have not done anything with the winner each year. So why are we supposed to care? But as who I think is going to win, I think they're going to do maybe somewhat maybe what they should have done for the Royal Rumble, and that is the Wyatt family dominate, and it's down to them as the final people, and they exit the match and let Bray Wyatt win, or it still ends with the Wyatt family, but maybe what's his name, Eric Rowan, he eliminates himself, and Braun Strowman's about to eliminate himself. And he's like, wait, nah, I ain't going out like that. And then he fights Bray Wyatt and he wins.
Damn it. You took my elaborate story. That's exactly that's exactly, and I'm in the exact same boat as you. I think that's what's going to happen at the armbar, some form of that. And do I care about the armbar? Absolutely not. They've done nothing with it before. Remember when it got debuted and we thought it's going to be this big thing, and then nothing ever happened. So why are we supposed to care at this point? But I'm going to say Braun Strowman wins the armbar.
I think if Big Show won the first one and then Cesaro, we would be having a completely different conversation. But the fact that we got that order and we know that nothing really happened is why our motivation is pretty much at a zero. I agree. I believe it's either going to be Bray Wyatt or Kane. Why? Because it almost seems like they're taking the Rumble logic of, well, Kane's the odds-on favorite. He's eliminated somebody. Same thing with Big Show, except they may actually win this match because the winner doesn't really move on to have a particular match, which they should change. They should have this pre-show thing where they get inserted into some kind of match, I do think that's cool because people like to when Daniel Bryan wrestled twice. So maybe something like that eventually. But yeah, it's either going to be Kane or Bray Wyatt, or if not, Braun Strowman. So why not?
It'd be cool even if it just made you like the number one contender for the title.
They always have that weird period after WrestleMania where the feud after WrestleMania for the champion always feels a little bit weird. So why not just make that the armbar winner, even if they don't win the title?
Especially because the last several years they haven't had like a direct rematch of like Extreme Rules isn't just the title match as a rematch. You know what I mean? They do something different.
Yeah.
Or if anything, and let me know what you guys think of this. What if they actually raise the stakes for the Raw after Mania, where the winner of the armbar gets a one-on-one match with the champion the night after, just like as a, hey, anything can happen in WWE. So every year it becomes like, hey, the guy can easily lose because odds
it
are
doesn't
that's
have
not going
to
to
be
change.
a pay-per-view thing. Just give us some sort of reward for winning it.
Exactly. So maybe something like that will happen eventually. Up next, we have a tag team match, and Keith would like to see that, wouldn't you?
Well, I would like to see what? A tag match?
Yeah, Usos.
You mean this one? No, not really.
Well, just in case, it's the Usos, it's the Dudley Boyz, who had like the most random / awesome segment on Raw. Like that predicament that Roman Reigns was involved in. Had me laughing, almost like a Bully Ray light we had there. But yeah, this is a pre-show match. The Usos, the Dudley Boyz, Ryan, Keith, myself, go.
Ooh, this one is just it's just buzzing with excitement for this burner. One, you know.
Except the barn already burnt.
I'm just gonna say the Usos, like the Dudleys, are gonna be putting them over, I guess. So I'll go with the Usos.
Yeah, the hype is at a dangerously low level for this match. It bums me out that I don't feel more for the heel Dudleys at this point, but yeah, I think they're just going to be there to put the Usos over, and the Usos win.
I think the Dudleys have to win this because it almost feels like I'm having the Wyatt family conversation with the Dudleys. Why do you even turn them heel to just have them lose their first big-time match, which is at the WrestleMania pre-show? Like, this is scraping the bottom of the barrel. If you just have them lose them here, then why did you even turn them in the first place? Not sure. I think that maybe Bubba Ray will get some kind of decent opportunity. Never a main event title run here in WWE or something, but just something may happen. So I think the Dudley Boyz are going to win. Now, we did get something happening on Raw that should have its own podcast episode about. Eva Marie came out to a chorus of cheers. I mean, there were children crying. People got married in the audience when they saw her, that theme song hitting. Did you guys honestly think that the WWE thought she was going to get cheered in Brooklyn when it's Eva Marie?
I'm not so sure because, her team did not seem to embrace her. I don't know if that was a call on the fly.
Yeah, that's weird, especially if they wanted like this big celebration for Eva Marie. It kind of seems almost counterproductive in that way.
She can't even point without it looking awkward or run for that matter. So even if you have the scenario where, well, she's in this team, she thinks she's buddy with, Paige, etc., she still can't wrestle. She can't walk normally for that matter. So why? Why?
Because she completes the Total Divas team.
No!
Yeah. Yay.
I actually totally forgot. Like, I saw before they revealed who, like, the last person was, I was like, who the hell could it even be? I couldn't, like, off the top of my head, I could not think of who it was. And I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. Of course it is.
Yeah, but it is Team Total Divas, so Brie Bella, who is apparently retiring the night after WrestleMania, Paige, Natalya, Alicia Fox, and Eva Marie versus possibly the worst name in wrestling history, or one of them, Team Bad and Blonde, Naomi, Tamina, Lana, Emma, and Summer Rae. What do you guys think about this?
Well, I think for a prediction, I'm going to pick Team Total Divas because it'll make a nice season finale for them. So I'm going to go with that. The interesting thing to note is, will Eva Marie and Lana be in the ring at the same time against each other.
I'm so excited.
Everyone's heads collectively explode when that happens.
There is a strong chance that is a possibility. I'm so excited. Let's say that there's over 100,000 people at WrestleMania. Just the chorus of cheers that are going to happen for Eva Marie as she walks down that aisle. I think it's going to be something to just marvel at. But yeah, I'm going to agree with Ryan. It seems to make sense that Team Total Divas would win here. Like you mentioned, it's a good season finale thing, especially if this is going to be Bree's last match. It seems like it makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that Emma just came back out of nowhere like this when she's been doing so great in NXT. She actually has maybe she's gonna have a match at NXT Takeover. I mean, she's not in the title match.
One of the first to report that, huh? That Emma return.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even though she came back at WWE main event. And, yeah.
Cool story, bro.
I was trying to figure out if I was like, wait, is this like a big deal? I was like, yeah, I think it kind of is. Why is it on main event? Why didn't they do this on SmackDown?
Yeah, and what annoys me, she has her heel, her NXT Minitron, but her babyface Titantron where she's still dancing, so way to just kill her off. I mean, she's been trying to just get rid of that, yet you just bring that. But I agree, it's going to be Team Total Divas. It is Brie Bella's final match in the WWE. Yes, that is a plane going by, and that plane is on the way to WrestleMania. It's probably going to go to Atlanta. Most planes in Puerto Rico now go to Atlanta. And then elsewhere, everybody learned something today. Next match.
I did.
Yeah. Next match is the U.S. Championship match. Kalisto versus Ryback. Apparently, this is also going to be on the pre-show, according to Wikipedia and maybe WWE. So 4 matches on the pre-show. The pre-show alone is like a pay-per-view at this point. What do you guys think about this? Ryback. He is officially a heel, and he may become champion again.
I'm actually gonna pick Kalisto for this one. I think they want their WrestleMania moment, Maggle, where Kalisto overcomes the giant, and I use hand quotations here, Ryback. I think they want to do some sort of David and Goliath thing, and it just makes more sense at WrestleMania for the big underdog to get the win.
Exactly, and I agree with your pick once again. I think I've agreed with every single one up to this point.
Has there been any disagreement yet, aside from maybe the Battle Royal?
I think Juan has picked almost.
I picked the Dudleys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, I think that this match is going to be the one that surprises people the most, where you don't have a lot of expectations going into it, but it ends up being a very solid match. And I'm honestly looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being surprised, let's say.
Yeah, keep in mind, these two had an outstanding match on a SmackDown a couple of months ago when they were having some qualifiers for a tournament, and I think that many people are going to be surprised. As a matter of fact, I will go as far as to say this is my Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt type thing for those keeping track, that a lot of people are going to see Ryback differently after this match, because I am so happy that the U.S. title is getting a one-on-one match on Mania. It would have been so easy to just put him in the ladder match for the IC title, and they have the whole, well, he could have both championships, and the fact that Sin Cara's in the other one tells a whole nother story. So I am really looking forward to this match. It's one of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most, simply because I know the crowd is going to be really hard to win over. And when they're able to do that, it feels so nice. Like they were successful at exactly what they wanted to do.
Exactly, especially with a crowd that's that big, it's a lot harder to win over. So I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, my expectations are pretty low, but Kalisto is an amazing talent, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's a great match.
Yeah, now we talk about the U.S. title. Let's talk about the IC title. So a ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. The champion Kevin Owens, who always kills it in his interviews with Michael Cole, and I hope they never end, defends against Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder, Sin Cara, The Miz, and Stardust.
I think Kevin Owens is is going to retain.
Yeah.
What?
It is
You
kind of like
basically
Arbok.
said that like it's Arbok.
It's a Pokemon for those who don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I picked Kevin Owens for this. I don't really see any reason to move the title to anyone else quite yet. I think if there's going to be a feud with Sami Zayn, then Sami Zayn would win it in the one-on-one feud.
So here's my crazy prediction.
Uh-oh.
I think they're going to give it to Zack Ryder on this one. I think it's going, because nobody really expects it to happen. I think something along the lines of Kevin Owens is about to win, and then Sami Zayn kind of almost sacrifices himself to stop Kevin Owens from winning. They're both down. Zack Ryder comes and grabs the title.
That is easily the most ridiculous thing.
I think you're doing that just to be different.
No, I honestly think Zack Ryder's winning also.
What?
Yeah. Hear me out.
What?
You said
You
that the feud
realize
after Mania
He
is
was
going to
in
be...
Neville. He's just taking Neville's spot.
Yeah, and I think Neville would have won this match.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal, Ryan. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn does not need a title for it to be an awesome feud.
This is true.
They don't need it. So why waste the championship on two people that can make a great feud based on personality and story alone? You give it to somebody else that's doing nothing with it from the ground up, because you have so many things to do there, because nobody is going to expect Zack Ryder to hold the championship for longer than a week, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Builds
when he
a good
does,
story.
yeah, it'll make a
All
great
right.
story.
We'll see.
Here we go. So, our first strong disagreement, and this match may have another one. So let's, I'm going to sprinkle in one of the bigger matches here to change things up. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho.
I still think AJ Styles is going to win out in the feud. I think this is kind of just a big way to give AJ Styles just a great start to his career, get that first win at WrestleMania. And Jericho's, I don't know if he's sticking around after Mania, but I'm going to guess probably not. So AJ needs to win more than Jericho.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be a hell of a match, and I think this one's all AJ.
This is going to be the match where you want to grab some popcorn, because it may be one of, I'm not going to say it's Jericho's last match, it's not, but it's going to be the last match that can rival the caliber of Jericho Michaels. I don't think he's ever going to have another WrestleMania match where
Agreed.
he's able to pull something off to the point where you're going to go back and listen to this or watch this. Maybe the whole feud hasn't been as memorable as the HBK one, because very little things are. I mean, there was a punch to a man's wife during a segment. That was a shoot. So, it's a little difficult to go up to the that level. But yeah, I think AJ Styles is going to win. And I have no idea what the hell AJ is going to do after WrestleMania.
Maybe feud with Zack Ryder for the Intercontinental Championship.
See, now that seems crazy.
That's quite a transition.
No, that one I'm completely joking about.
Okay, I was getting a little worried. And now it's time to talk about the 3-on-4 handicap match between the New Day and the League of Nations, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw this. They posted a picture on Instagram where they were emulating a classic piece of art.
From like the Sistine Chapel or something like that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's amazing.
You didn't see it, Keith?
No.
We'll
It's
show you
like
afterwards.
the finger touch with like the guy and God
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah.
They,
Alberto Del Rio's being carried by Sheamus and Rusev.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
While Ryan talks about it, I'm going to look for the picture so we get Keith's live reaction about it.
Okay. So the New Day versus the League of Nations. The New Day has been on quite a roll defending their tag team titles. So I think this is where they're going to kind of throw a wrench into that. And I think the League of Nations... Oh, wait. Are the tag titles on the line?
No.
No.
I
No?
don't believe so.
Apparently,
Okay.
it originally was, but they took
Yeah,
it
but
away.
then they redacted it.
Okay. So tag titles not on the line. That's an even more reason for me to pick the League of Nations then to win this.
Agreed. Isn't this one of Bad News Barrett's last matches as well? If
I
not-
mean,
Yeah, like, we honestly don't know what's been happening with that, because ever since that rumor, nothing else has really come up. So maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe he's going to stick around. Regardless, in 3 seconds, you're about to see the picture right now.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right, great. Fantastic. But yeah, I think that redaction of the tag team titles really like makes me think, oh yeah, of course the New Day is going to lose this one and the League of Nations comes out on top.
I think that the New Day has to win simply because we're going to get jiggy with it after the match. Everybody's going to be dancing. Hips will be broken from the WWE Universe. I don't know what the League of Nations is going to do afterwards. I think that picture they posted on Instagram is the first time I ever really cared about something that they did, whether if he is a face or a heel. Am I alone in this?
You're not wrong.
No, I was like, they need to do more stuff like that. That was kind of amazing.
But even then, we're supposed to hate them, but I honestly just, like, they're there. It's a group, they're almost a rejects. They are, in many ways, similar to the Social Outcast. Here's a bunch of guys.
They're more social outcasts than the actual social outcasts.
Well, the thing is, and they are, and every single one of those guys should be like a top heel in the company.
Yep.
So that says a lot about them. But yeah, I believe New Day is going to be victorious. Up next, triple threat match for the Divas Championship. The champion Charlotte with the Nature Boy Ric Flair by her side defense against Becky Lynch and the boss Sasha Banks.
This is a tough one because it seems like as much as I would like Sasha Banks to win and Becky to win, it seems like they aren't going to win. I just feel like Charlotte still feels like the one that they want to kind of keep the title on.
Yeah. But
she's had it so long, it seems like they want to do a big WrestleMania victory. But I'm weirdly just going to stick with Charlotte. It feels weird, but I'm going to say she wins.
See, I think they're going to go with that big WrestleMania victory moment and give the title to Sasha Banks on this one. Honestly, do you guys agree with this where I'm almost ready to be disappointed by this match just because of that whole NXT background and all the great matches they had in NXT? I just feel like there's no way that this match is going to live up to that. So I'm almost like, I'm going into that match feeling disappointed, and I'm bummed out about that.
Sasha versus Bayley was one of my favorite matches in the past couple of years. And I'm not even talking about the Iron Man match. I'm talking about the first match they had was great.
Agreed.
And I really think that you cannot top that off because once you build up expectation, rarely, even if the match is awesome, even if it's a match that you watch 10 times, that hype, like anything can trigger something to have it fail. Oh, the crowd's not enjoying this. Why? You know, there are so many factors that can really play into this. So I don't think it's going to live up to that hype, even if it's a really good match, which I do think it will be.
So who wins?
For me, I got to go with Charlotte, but what I think is going to happen is that she's going to win with Ric Flair's help, except she won't know it. I think that we're going to slowly get some seeds planted as to she thinks she's really good, but she's starting to notice that whenever she's in trouble, he interferes when she doesn't want him to. So maybe he holds the ropes and he'll do some crazy Flair style shenanigan where afterwards she's like, no, I'm the champion. Like it's because of me. She's going to start to go into denial after WrestleMania.
It's going to lead to that thing where she rejects Flair and becomes even more of a heel.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to it. It could easily be the match of the night. It does have that potential.
For me, it's like I don't care who wins. I just want that to be really good.
I think I'm hoping it's a good match, but as far as match of the night goes, girl, you cray.
Hey, I think it really can be. Because it also depends. It also, okay, so here's the next match. It's a no-holds-barred street fight. So it's Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. Now, I think that's probably going to be the match of the night based on expectations alone. Ryan even posted a video a couple of weeks ago saying that, sometimes you in your head have already in your mindset, like, this is the match of the night. So it's really hard when maybe another match outshines it or something, and you're going to have weapons in some form. Because it's a Brock Lesnar match, Brock can pull out whatever the hell he wants. Or Dean Ambrose can pull out whatever the hell he wants because it's a Brock freaking Lesnar match, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we're predicting the street fight now?
Yeah, we're in this.
Yep.
Did we leave this off the match card, by the way, on our agenda?
I think we did, but I'm reading on Wikipedia.
Well, I'm glad okay, good. I'm glad we remembered it then. Yeah, I think you make a point, though, where stipulation matches kind of have an unfair advantage because they have more resources to work with. But they're not always necessarily better. But this match, people might go in wanting it to be the best match and therefore might think it, even if it isn't. But either way, I'm looking forward to it. Should be awesome. We've kind of talked about it before. I think Brock Lesnar is going to win hands down, but that's fine. As long as Dean Ambrose, goes through an insane beating and beats the hell out of Brock Lesnar and basically just shows his toughness a la Austin in WrestleMania 13 against Bret Hart. Like, this is that for him.
Yeah.
That's all he needs to do is look like a tough badass and never stop fighting until he literally cannot physically fight anymore, and it'll be awesome.
That is an incredible comparison, and that's basically what I hope to get out of this matchup. Dean Ambrose doesn't need to win to walk away this match as as victorious, basically. But like you mentioned, I expect this to be the match of the night. I think it will be, and you could almost argue for the exact opposite reasons that this match might not live up to some people's expectations because people expect so much out of it. But I personally think it's going to blow me away, and Brock Lesnar wins. There's no doubt.
This is CM Punk Lesnar 2. That match had awesome build, really, really high expectations, and it delivered on the very first second of the match. Like, the moment that match started, it was already the match of the night because the chemistry was there. I think it's going to be here.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah, and as good as it may be, I am worried that Dean Ambrose is going to look like $1 million. People are going to love him, and that's it. I do strongly think that's going to happen. He can possibly be the next CM Punk, where this is the guy that people want him to be the guy. This match is going to put him on a level so high that just give him the title. It's not going to happen, and it's going to backfire tremendously. Brock Lesnar has to win. Because if Brock loses, neither of them look good. Because then at this point, if you can beat Brock Lesnar,
you better be champion.
Yeah, you better
nobody
be
has
champion.
Pinned Lesnar since no one's pinned him since Triple H or something?
Triple H was the last person.
Exactly.
Yeah, he has not been beaten since he broke the streak, and this is a no disqualification match, so they can't do any shenanigans.
It has to end by pinfall or by decision where the referee stops it.
Yeah, they have no outs, so Lesnar has to win because otherwise he has to get pinned or submit, and that ain't happening.
Question, guys. Do you want to talk about the Hell in a Cell or the title match?
I think we should talk about Hell in a Cell. Keep the title on last, baby.
Okay, so here we go. Hell in a Cell match. If Shane McMahon wins, he will get control of Monday Night Raw, and it will be Undertaker's last WrestleMania. So keep in mind, the stipulation right now is officially WrestleMania. Vince McMahon has implied other things, but the stipulation so far is this. So Shane versus Taker. Here we go.
All right. The stipulations of this match are kind of unfortunate because no matter what happens, you lose in some aspect. Either the authority stay in power and so either the authority stays in power or the Undertaker can never perform at WrestleMania again. So as a fan, you're kind of torn. It's weird. Usually there's one side you really want to cheer for and the other side you don't.
But that's what's so great about this match. There's no clean outcome.
Which is weird. I mean, I guess it's interesting. It definitely kind of spices things up. And I think I would much rather have Shane McMahon running Monday Night Raw than see Undertaker perform at WrestleMania again. No disrespect to the Undertaker, but he's had a hell of a run, and I think it's getting to be time to hang things up. And they only said WrestleMania. It doesn't mean we'll never see another Undertaker match. All that being said, I think the Undertaker is still going to win. I think Shane McMahon just kind of showed up for a WrestleMania appearance because they needed some more hype for the show given all the injuries. So I think it's a very short-term thing. And The Undertaker, even though it makes sense for him to kind of retire or whatever in Texas, it doesn't seem like Shane McMahon should be the guy that retires him. You got to do something more than that. John Cena next year at WrestleMania, whatever, seems more appropriate. So I think Undertaker has to win.
Yeah, how weird would that be if the only two people to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania are Brock Lesnar and Shane McMahon? It just doesn't make a lot of sense in that respect. So I'm going to have to agree. I think The Undertaker's going to win. I think it's going to be a great match. They're going to do like something crazy is going to happen in that match.
Expect one insane spot.
Yeah. Like the moment of the night will come out of that match. I don't know what it is. I can't honestly fathom what it is. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic match, and The Undertaker is probably going to win because,
Shane
like
McMahon
Ryan mentioned, it's going to be a very
DDT Undertaker off the cell through a table.
Wow, yeah, I could see that, or maybe pile drive him.
What if we get the choke slam like from the video games where Undertaker choke slam Shane McMahon off the cell? I wouldn't be surprised. They'll put some like Shane McMahon will come out in like a hay truck like with Rikishi or whatever, and then like Undertaker will choke slam off the cell. I would not be surprised, like not even kidding, that if they put something at the bottom, some sort of crash pad, like, you know, they gimmick something where he can fall into it. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they did that.
And I guess Shane does have a bit of a pedigree with that, with the whole leap of faith and that stuff. So, yeah, maybe. It'd be weird. I honestly don't think I want to see the video game chokeslam in real life. I want to keep it in the magical video game thing.
Can I go into story time?
Sure.
If you insist.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't let me stop you.
Okay. So I've been thinking about this for the past couple of weeks, and I wanted to wait for this podcast in particular. Here's what I think is going to happen. You guys let me know if I'm crazy. Shane McMahon's going to win. No, I know I'm crazy, but, you know, is the story
Buckle
crazy?
Up, Maggle, it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, right, Kevin Owens is turning into Bray Wyatt tonight, folks.
I don't think it's that crazy, but this is Undertaker's last WrestleMania. The man debuted at Survivor Series. That's where his career is going to end. So they sealed the deal where he can't wrestle in WrestleMania simply because he's not allowed to no longer. So he doesn't look weak. It's like, well, this was the stipulation. You lost. That doesn't mean he can't show up on Raw or be pissed off at the fact that because of Shane McMahon, he can no longer wrestle at WrestleMania. So this gives him legs, a reason to show up. Because now, the person that is in charge of Raw, and basically, if you're in charge of Raw, you're in charge of the show, is the reason why you can no longer wrestle there. That gives you a motive for revenge. That gives you a lot of different things that you can work on, ultimately concluding all the way at Survivor Series. Does it seem like we're far off? Honestly, we got Rock Cena 2 from basically the night after WrestleMania. So anything is possible. I think that this is the perfect way to do it. So you seal the deal with WrestleMania. You seal the deal with The Undertaker at Survivor Series. And there's closure to him because it should be like Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan won both titles at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, you know, all the injuries, things happen. But from a book perspective, literally, because he did get that book, it was the perfect ending. And the same thing's going to happen here. Am I crazy, guys?
I don't
a little bit.
A little. I'll give you
it
like
wasn't that out of the box. Although
6 out
it
of
was
10.
like he already had the 25-year anniversary of Survivor Series, but who knows?
We had twice in a lifetime.
To go on an even crazier theory.
Whoa.
What do you think the odds are that this turns out to be what are the odds a Shane McMahon heel turn happens and it's just an elaborate plot by the McMahon family to retire The Undertaker?
It could easily be a thing. As a matter of fact, it could even be a thing where it's Vince and Shane wanting to take Triple H and Stephanie out of control.
Yeah.
And you have a babyface authority, which they have tested in the past.
So what you guys are saying is it's a word called interesting, and I don't think it's going to apply here.
Damn.
True.
Now I'm sad. But yeah, I think that Shane McMahon is going to win. Now, this is how you know this is a special podcast episode. Like, usually we'd be done basically by now, and we still have your questions. You guys are going to get some JTG stuff, so we're super happy about that. But without further ado, it is time to talk about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. The champion, who was cheered very heavily on Raw, Triple H, defending against the man that's supposed to be the good guy, yet people maybe don't like him too much, Roman Reigns, the guy with the biggest pecs.
All right. Well, you kind of stole my gimmick because I was going to sing the song there.
Oh, I knew you were.
Damn it. Damn you. Okay. So this title match is pretty interesting. You know, Roman Reigns was supposed to get his big WrestleMania moment last year, and we got bailed out, and they had Seth Rollins come in and win it. We're not going to be so lucky this year. This is Vince's, WrestleMania ending. He's going to get what he wants this year, and Roman Reigns, the guy with the biggest pecs, is going to beat Triple H. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I agree. We got the big bailout last year. We're not going to get it again. I think that's going to be the big dark cloud over this WrestleMania. Now, as far as the match itself goes, kind of going back to what I said a few weeks ago, I really hope that Stephanie McMahon is involved in this match somehow. Just create a situation where you almost let the people, like you turn the people to Roman's side through that match, through the actions of Triple H, through the actions of Stephanie McMahon. And if this match goes on last, we will know what the fate of the WWE is at that point, right? So if Shane McMahon ends up winning and Triple H goes on as the authority last, like that could add a whole new element to this matchup. So yeah, but I think Roman Reigns is going to come out on top. And then we'll have the big Roman wins celebration of destiny.
I think ultimately you do have to, at some point, put an end to this. So Roman Reigns has got to win, because otherwise this is going to continue. And please, just stop. I mean, this has been the story for over a year, because last year's WrestleMania, as you said, was supposed to be that. And the whole road has been rocky the whole way. So just have Roman Reigns win. This should not be the type of situation, like, as a fan that I want. Like, just give him the title, not even because I want it or not. Just, if you're going to do it, get it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least with Roman Reigns, give us something different. Let him feud with somebody else and have it be not about the authority.
Exactly. So the simple fact is that in the perfect world, Shane wins, Roman wins, so that should shift how the product looks. That would be the perfect scenario. You can even turn the guy heel. Like, you can do whatever you want. You have a clean slate. So hopefully that is what happens. Overall, guys, what would you say is going to be the match of the night?
Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. No question.
I'm going to say AJ Styles and Chris Jericho.
Ooh, you guys put me in a tough spot here. I'm going to have to say AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. I think that each match you can look at, and there's a different thing. I'm just going to throw this out there. I think Roman Reigns and Triple H is the John Cena match, where you want that match for the crowd reaction. Like, the match can be good or bad. That crowd alone is going to make it. Hell in a Cell is going to be like the retirement matches that Undertaker had with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, etc., where it is like, 1, 2, oh my God, like those near pinfalls are going to drive people insane. AJ Jericho is going to be a wrestling clinic. The IC title ladder match is going to be a ladder match at WrestleMania. New Day League of Nations, I think that's going to be the most neutral match. Same thing with the Divas tag match. But yeah, Brock and Dean, they can steal the show in a whole different way. From a storyline standpoint, I think that's going to be a really good thing. Guys, WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the build-up maybe hasn't been perfect, but the card is pretty damn good, considering all of the injuries that they've dealt with, how many, top-tier guys are out. They put together a pretty damn solid card.
Totally. It took Shane McMahon coming back, but they pulled it off.
Yeah, but imagine if you had guys like Cesaro, Cena, and Rollins in the roster right now. Like that.
Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Tons of people missing.
Yeah, this Mania is stacked, especially considering that, like, for everything that people say, oh, the roster's not that great. Like, I look at this and I'm like, man, like, this is a WrestleMania that I'm going to sit down and enjoy.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes. And gang, keep in mind that if you enjoy the podcast, which we hope you do, that is like maybe 10% of what we have going on this week. As tradition, initially started by you, Keith. You're the guy, you're the reason that we have a new video every single day, because you're the one that pushed us at that point. I will never forget that, and it's become an ongoing tradition for WrestleMania each year.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania week. It's I was the creator of my own downfall in that respect.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a lot of things happening. So on Monday we posted a video where Ryan and myself commentate Fight Night style a simulated bout between Triple H and Reigns in WWE 2K16. Had a lot of fun doing that. This week you're gonna get top 10 WrestleMania stages. Keith and I present. It's a brand new format that we are going to experiment with a little bit more. We think you guys are going to like it a lot. It can open up the doors for more content on the YouTube channel, which is Byte That Cast. We're nearing 5K subscribers. We're less than 200 away, so spread the word. The JTG Interview is in there and all that good stuff. We talk about WrestleMania 22. We take a look at it because there are 3 key matches in there that we talk about. So there's Undertaker, Mark Henry, the casket match. That seems a little random. We're saving it for that, so you know why we bring that up.
That's justified.
Yeah. So we talk about Edge and Mick Foley and John Cena versus Triple H. Now, we are still not done. Like, this keeps going. So on Friday is NXT TakeOver Dallas. This show's a little bit packed, so we can't get predictions, but what we will have is an after the show reaction. So it is going to be, we can't guarantee the combination, hopefully it's the 3 of us, but that's going to be on the channel or not live, but almost live, because it's happening right after a review talking about NXT TakeOver Dallas. Are you guys looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm excited for the show.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to see the debut of Nakamura, so plenty to look forward to.
Exactly. So, on Saturday, there is the Hall of Fame. But before the Hall of Fame, about 2 to 3 hours after, around 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be streaming on myself and my wife's Twitch channel. We have twitch.tv/PressPauseTV. Usually we play non-wrestling video games. I myself, hopefully one of you guys can make it. Understandable if you don't, but it would be great. I would love you guys to be there. But whatever the case, I will be playing some wrestling games Saturday before the Hall of Fame, so you get your feet wet with some wrestling goodness. I may be playing some 2K16 or WrestleMania 19. Not really sure about that. Could even do SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. JTG's in there. We interviewed him. I can take a look at that moveset and see how awesome that is. And there may be a video on Sunday after WrestleMania, possibly. So we may need a vacation after this week, but we do it because of you. It's super awesome.
We heart you.
Yes, we heart you.
Well, I will firmly say there will be a WrestleMania review video on the channel.
Bam!
Snapmare!
I'll make sure that happens.
It will happen. So a new
Even
video
if it's just
every
me.
day. Yes, it will not be you though, because we will be here in some form. I don't care, man. Like, I actually got the morning off on Monday just so we can do that. As a matter of fact, I can do that.
All right. So look forward to that one then.
Yeah. Now, as you may have seen in the channel, we interviewed former WWE superstar JTG about his brand new book, Damn, Why Did I Write This Book Too? He actually came on the show last year to talk about the first book, and it was so successful that he made a sequel talking about what the game is and how to play it. He also shares some feedback that he received from his peers like Ethan Carter III, Titus O'Neil, and goes into some details about some stories mentioned in the book. The full interview is up right now, but just in case, here's a preview to get things warmed up. You in the book actually, at around one point, mentioned that you come up with a lot of ideas. The talent, some people assume that they're just backstage and catering, not really thinking about ideas, but you were actually doing pretty creative things to try to reinvent your character. One example I do want to bring up, because you didn't go into too much detail, and I would love to hear what this character would be, was the urban rock star gimmick, sort of a mixture of a hip hop / rock star that could eventually get a ballet, etc. Almost, at least the way that I saw it, and you let me know if it's different, almost like an evolved version of MVP.
It was actually a evolved version of JTG, but yeah, something like that. Because I was looking back on Lil Wayne's career, and we were kind of similar. We kind of parallel. You know, he started in a group, and then he had a little hiatus, and then he came back, and he just kind of revamped his career and his look, and he's a legend right now. He's a living legend. So that's something that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a heel, of course. Heels have more fun, and just be a self-proclaimed living legend, a walking, just an icon. And I wanted to eventually, when the character got over, like I said in the book, I wanted to have a Nicki Minaj type character be my valet. Someone like what is her name? What's her name? The Glow, Feel the Glow. What's the diva's name? She's married to one of the Usos.
Oh, Naomi,
yeah, she'd have been perfect for that role.
I can actually see that, and it's different because a lot of times in wrestling, we will get outrageous characters. For example, your dancing characters. That's where your Brodus Clay or Fandango go in. But that type of mystical character that doesn't think he's better than others, but that there's just a glow, almost like you mentioned with Naomi. It just works really well. So maybe someday you can get that character, whether it be in WWE or somewhere else.
We'll see. We'll definitely see.
Now, one thing about a character is that there is the persona.
Yeah.
You accompany that with the entrance, the music. Once the match starts, how important or how do you go about developing a moveset that really goes well with the character? In your case, one of our co-hosts, he couldn't make the show, Keith. I remember when we were playing SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, I believe, and one of the reasons that he loved playing as you is because you actually had a lot of different moves that weren't in the game before that almost seemed like they were captured by you. Your entrance, it was really unique. It didn't feel generic. It felt like after the entrance happened, it was still JTG. It wasn't like, okay, let's just have a normal wrestling match now. How does that go about?
Oh yeah, with anything that I do, I always make sure that I paint it with my personality and creativity. I just don't want to go there like even with certain moves. I just don't do a regular move. I got to add a little of my personality and creativity to it. So even when I have a match, or if I do a new character, it's not the moves that's going to make the character stand out. It's going to be more what I do in between those moves. You know, the facials, the pauses in between the match, looking at the crowd, and if I'm going to do the urban joker character, it's going to be a deranged look. If I'm going to do the urban rock star, I'm going to look up into the air and do a pose. Different stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's something we don't really see enough of. You'll see a guy is this, character, but as soon as the bell rings, a lot of that character fades away. So I think that's kind of almost like a lost art you don't see in too many people, So how did you go about kind of figuring out the little bits of flair that you wanted to add to these? Did you, just kind of practice practice in the mirror, or just, work with people to kind of figure out little things you wanted to add to your moves?
I definitely practice my facials in the mirror and pause. And I also, with a lot of wrestlers that I noticed when we're putting together matches, they're worrying about memorizing the moves, where I'm more as memorizing what I'm going to do in between those moves, because that's what makes the wrestler stand out more. People remember the facials and the emotion that you had more than the move. Like, for example, at WrestleMania, when it was Vince McMahon, who did he wrestle? I can't remember exactly who he wrestled, but is when he was getting a pipe and his face was just bloody, and he raised his head up from the ring. I remember that more than anything in the match because it was his personality. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course. Was it Hogan that he was wrestling?
Yeah, it was Hogan. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, gang, so we want to thank JTG once again for coming on the show, talking about those situations. It's always an outstanding experience because we've been doing this for almost 3 years, and the last thing we ever thought would happen is actually having a former WWE superstar on the show somebody that's been, for example, in Talk is Jericho. I mean, the context of that.
Putting that into perspective is crazy.
Yeah, is absolutely unreal. I was able to interview him last year, but Ryan, you were here with me this time. What was that experience like for you? Because we haven't actually had time to talk about that.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. I've not really done any interviews before, so it's very unique. It's a lot different than just doing a podcast. So it's harder than it looks, but I think it came out great. And there was a question I wanted to ask after I heard Juan do the first interview. So it was great. I won't spoil what it was, but it was great for me to actually be able to ask that question that I wanted to ask like a year ago. So I had a really good time.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in us pursuing something like that every once in a while, because it is a crazy experience. We obviously can't guarantee it, but thank you to JTG once again. And seriously, read the book. Like it takes you just a couple of hours to read, and you will laugh a lot. Because even Ryan mentioned in the interview, he doesn't read a lot, and 2 books in a row, both are about JTG. Now, guys, your questions are jam-packed this week. We have a lot of them. Some of them you sent it to our Gmail. That is bytethatcast@gmail.com. Others you sent them through Twitter, bytethatcast with the hashtag AskBT, or whenever you listen on YouTube, just comment on the latest podcast episode asking us a question. Maybe give us a shout out or say where you're from. It's actually pretty great. Like sometimes we get people from Germany, Saudi Arabia, and it is ridiculous that we get an audience literally from around the whole world. So without further ado, Mr. Poshik, take it away. WrestleMania level questions.
WrestleMania, Mr. Worldwide, question time. Please
Coolo.
don't sue me, Pitbull. So our first question comes from Philip A., who asks, and I'm going to kind of direct this more towards your side of the woods, Juan, because I would say you're our resident NXT expert.
And before you go on, it's Shinsuke Nakamura, because I got murdered for mispelling his mispronouncing his name last time.
I was just gonna say Nakamura.
You are a smart man.
I'm gonna take the safe bet here, but nonetheless, Philip A. asks, how do you think they are going to handle Nakamura this weekend? I think I just said that wrong.
Still
anyway.
botched it.
Yeah. Is Sami Zayn going to be dead following WrestleMania weekend? Also, is there any possible way to revive the career of Hideo Itami to give him credibility anywhere near where he was when he was Kenta?
Part 1, I have no idea, because historically, people from the Rising Sun, etc., do not do great after long periods of time in WWE. He is tall, so he actually does have he has that going for him. I know that seems ridiculous, but let's be honest here. It's WWE, and I think that is going to play a big factor. He is eventually going to take over NXT when Finn Balor eventually moves over to the main roster, and Sami Zayn, that guy better get at least a 2-day vacation afterwards, because he has 2 outstanding matches taken on Shinsuke Nakamura in one of the most highly anticipated matches, because bam, like that is your opponent, the guy with worldwide expectation, involved with the Bullet Club, feuding and all that, and now this is happening. It's going to be crazy with Hideo Itami. This is where I get into a little bit of negative Nancy mode and say that he may go the way of Sami Callihan, aka Solomon Crow. Because even from day one, and at that moment, I know you guys watched a lot of NXT, I felt nothing. And I love Kenta. I watched a lot of Kenta versus Samoa Joe. I consumed some Kenta matches before WWE, way back almost 10 years ago. So I've seen this guy wrestle. He comes over to NXT, has this really stale character, wrestles okay, gets injured, and now you have Nakamura in there, so I don't know.
Yeah, Hideo always felt like this thing of you're telling me how great he is, and I'm talking just from NXT alone. You're telling me how great he is, but you're never actually showing me. I know he has all those great matches elsewhere, but in NXT, it just never really clicked. So yeah, thank you, sir, for the question. Our next one comes in from Brian, who asks, Is it me, or has there been more aggressiveness, a bit more attitude, and more passion from wrestlers recently? He feels that slowly but surely things are changing. For the better? What are your thoughts? Also, did you guys watch Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice? If so, what did you think and what was your favorite part? Was Ben Affleck the best Batman ever?
I've not seen the movie yet, by the way.
I've not seen it either. All I've seen is the sad Ben Affleck meme.
All right.
We have seen that video with Ben Affleck reacting.
Sad Ben Affleck is amazing. I still need to see the movie.
Yeah, same here.
But I'll step in with the aggressiveness or a bit more attitude. I haven't particularly noticed it. Maybe a little bit more of things like backstage brawls, stuff we didn't really get enough of. It's also during WrestleMania season, so they usually amp things up regardless. So if you still feel like that attitude and aggressiveness is there after WrestleMania, maybe there's some validity to it. But until then, I think you could just attribute that for them going all out for Mania.
Exactly. I think the big differentiator there is that it is WrestleMania season, and so they always do that little bit of extra. But if it continues after WrestleMania season, then I think maybe we will see a bit of a change, but I highly doubt that happening.
Exactly. I think this conversation is going to be great for something like in May or something. Like WrestleMania is over. We've had a little bit over a month after it. Personally, I do think that they are adding some variety, that sounded weird, to the show. I don't think aggressiveness, etc. has been showcased a lot more. I think it's just a matter of you insert guys like Kevin Owens that just give you a different presence. You have the Wyatt family. You do have an ample roster with different characters, but there is still that thing of what are you doing with him? Like you pull in a guy like Tyler Breeze, for example, and you do nothing with him. So for every good thing that is still happening, you do get the other situations that we've grown accustomed, which is like you're not really sure what they're going to do. A guy may just randomly turn, like Alicia Fox is turned again. She may turn again after WrestleMania, so why not? But things like that are happening.
Exactly. The Divas division be cray. But thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Promo Neil, who asks, "Hey guys, will you be watching WrestleMania with friends or by yourself? Also, any snack ideas? What will you be munching on? Nachos, chicken fingers, or will you go healthy and go for carrot sticks?"
As for me, I'll be watching WrestleMania with some friends. I'll have a few people over. And snack ideas, we're probably just going to have chips and stuff. And we're going calzones for the main course. Get some meatball, calzones, steak and cheese, maybe buffalo chicken.
It's been so long since I had a calzone.
It's good stuff.
So good.
It destroys you afterwards, but it's worth it.
For the record, I love this kind of question. Catches you off guard. I'm not sure how I'm going to be watching it. Possibly on the TV. Bad joke. Really, wow. I disappointed myself.
Just roll through it, baby. Roll through it.
Yes, we can do this. We can do this. I'm a little under the weather. I don't know if you guys can tell. So I may not leave the house. I will be watching it with my wife and possibly our dog Scooby.
My wife.
Shout out to Scooby. Chispy. His Ryan's already laughing.
Yeah, okay, we're not going to tell the story on this podcast, so I'm going to be watching wrestling.
I never answered. Okay, my food. I did not state my food,
you get your food. You're on a tight leash here.
I hope you realize now. Everybody's going to be asking, what is that story?
Good, let them. Hey, you know what? Okay, here's a little promotion for you. You want to find out that story? You can tell it on your little stream there on Saturday. I'm keeping that on the podcast. So if you want to know what story I don't want to say on this podcast, tune into one stream this Saturday at Press Pause. What's the URL? Press Pause
Keith,
TV?
I'm so honored you're standing up for me.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I love you.
Are you a little turned on, Ryan?
I know.
So
Keith.
what do you eat?
I was actually gonna go say pizza, but calzone, like a good chorizo or pepperoni one. Meat lovers. That may be it. I'll make sure to tweet a picture. We got to tweet pictures of whatever we're gonna eat, so people see that we follow through with that.
Indeed. So
we got to Instagram them, man.
Yeah,
you got to Instagram your food.
So my uncle and I have this tradition of watching WrestleMania in a movie theater. We go to a local theater and we watch WrestleMania on the big screen there. So we'll be doing that again this year.
He's doing it old school.
Exactly.
Closed circuit. The way WrestleMania 1 was watched.
Yeah. They still do that here. It's awesome. And then, so being at the movie theater, I am going to go to town on a giant bag of popcorn because movie popcorn is just the best.
I'm gonna bring up it's not the Cheeseby story. I did one year think about, what happens when you go watch WrestleMania at a bar? I'm not doing that again. Because it just became a conversation of, you watch wrestling, remember the Attitude Era?
Oh, I hate that. Like the thing that's nice about it, the thing that I like about the movie theater part is nobody sits there and talks during a movie. Like those rules still apply, so I don't have to socialize with the rest of the people. Even people get yelled at if they cheer sometimes. Like if they're that obnoxious cheering person in a theater, other people go like, "Shut up. We're trying to watch
Triple H
this."
Roman Reigns match is going to be awesome.
I actually watched WrestleMania 30 at like a Hooters because they were showing it, and it is like I don't really like watching it at a restaurant because it's like 4 hours long and you
got to keep the drinks flowing.
You got to keep you feel bad if you're just going to keep drinking water after you have your meal or something like that. You want to keep like ordering things and. That food always just does it. I feel like shit after I eat there. So that doesn't help either.
It's not the best. But thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from NKBE1324, who asks, how often do you guys turn off Raw before the show actually ends?
Keith, you start this one.
Yeah. So, more weeks than not. I don't really finish Raw at the time. It's very difficult to hold my interest. Now, do I go back and watch it because we do a podcast every week and I need to keep on this stuff? Yes, for the most part. I get the important stuff, but I find it very difficult to sit there and for the entire 3 hours and watch it. So the honest answer, and I'm kind of calling myself out here, is quite frequently it happens. I think it needs to be a shorter show.
There's a lot of times I really, really want to, but I always sit through the entire thing.
Just do it. It feels great.
Nah, just go do it.
No, I always just see it through to the end because it's easier for me to just get it all over with. It feels bad that I'm saying it like that,
just end it.
It's just like, I don't want to have to go back and like find the ending, like find clips I didn't see later on. So it's just like I'll just sit through the thing now and get it over with. And, it works that way. So I'm good with it.
Here's how you know if I don't watch the last 40 minutes live. If the main event is a tag team match, I am not watching that. If the main event is happening 10 minutes before the show's supposed to end, I am not watching that. I used to, but honestly, it got to a point where not once did I get what was going to happen wrong. I predicted it every time. And those times that I did miss it, I just watched it on YouTube and they gave me what I needed. I think that the first 2 hours of Raw give you enough substance that you can sort of figure out what is going to happen at the end, because it is so rare when something happens so big at the end of the show because they know most people are tired that it's just not worth it.
It's true.
Yeah, Ryan,
they used to end Raw with like an intriguing ending, like so they're like, oh, what's gonna happen next week?
Something to keep you wanting to watch.
Yeah, now we get that. You'll get that more in the first or second hour. Like the third hour kind of sucks now.
Yeah,
it really does.
The best example of this episode, awesome, that Shane Taker thing. You can just turn it off and you got that moment. But if you just tuned in for the last moment, okay, you saw Roman Reigns do a dive and people come out and then they stared at each other.
Yeah, how exciting. No. So thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Allison W., who asks, if Cesaro was not injured, do you think he would have made a good member of the League of Nations? And my answer is absolutely.
Ooh.
I think he would have fit in. I'm not so sure the stable would be faring any better than it is now.
Yes,
I mean, the matches
that is
would obviously
true.
be... There would be, in addition to the quality of matches with Cesaro around, but I don't think they would be like pushed any more than they are. But I think he would fit very well.
I disagree, actually. because
Screw you, man. No.
Sorry for having my own opinion, Michael. I just think that he's been switched so much that just turning him again will just shut him off. And a perfect example is a guy in the League of Nations. As a matter of fact, 2 of them. 3. Holy crap.
Basically, the League of Nations.
With the exception of Rusev, everybody else has had that situation. Barrett, they liked Bad News Barrett, then they hated him, King Barrett. Sheamus, they tried making him face, didn't work. Heel, people just didn't care, it was too late. And Alberto Del Rio, he was babyface at one point. And people forget that. So Cesaro, holy crap, Cesaro was going to be, he may have been the replacement for Rusev in many ways. Because if you switch those 2 out, it makes perfect sense, actually.
It absolutely does.
So, I don't think it would have worked. Keep him a babyface. He's going to be in trouble when he comes back.
Indeed. So thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Morris E.O. Phoenix. Don't worry, we're getting to that one.
Yes!
Okay.
And Morris asks, what do you think are the worst championship belt designs in all of wrestling?
Spinner belt,
Divas title. There was one TNA championship that was pretty bad. I forget which one, but
was
the
it
Divas
the Jeff
title.
Hardy Joker one? Because I really
that's up there. The fact that title hung around for a while, just the whole design was terrible. I think that those ones, but primarily the Divas title, because it's been there for so long. It has a freaking butterfly.
It's a lower back tattoo on the title belt.
The current tag titles, the pennies.
The pennies?
Those things are horrible, even though we love
question.
the WWE World Tag Team Champions. Go ahead, Keith.
How do you guys feel about the NXT Heavyweight Championship? Besides how it's just like a magnet for thumb marks and smudges.
Yeah. I think it needs a redesign. It was cool when NXT launched, but it looks like a developmental championship. It is literally just the logo.
Yeah. I've never been a big fan of it. I like how it's almost succeeded in spite of itself. Like there's prestige to it from who's held it, not what it actually looks like. And I do like that angle, but I do agree that it does need a bit of a redesign. So thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from the Cynical Cypher, who asks, what do you guys believe the landscape of the WWE will be like if Shane wins at WrestleMania? Will there be more of the same, or will there be actual change?
I could see 2 routes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, first, this is assuming that Shane wins.
Yeah. I think 2 routes where either A, Shane is just a GM and it's the same old stuff, or there could be that rumored brand split. I mean, I don't think it's a good time for that. But they always say Shane would control Monday Night Raw, so the Authority would take over SmackDown, and you'd try to have some sort of power struggle there, make SmackDown more important. So that's how I feel like it would change, but I don't think Shane's going to win.
I do think Shane's going to win, so I would say that it is the pawns will change. I think pieces will be placed, but the overall pacing of the show, and why am I speaking so slowly? I feel like Randy. I don't think it's going to change as a whole. I think that characters are going to be moved, and I believe the brand split will be happening this year in some form.
I agree. To kind of go back to what I said a few weeks ago, if Shane wins, I do see the scenario where Triple H and Stephanie take over SmackDown and almost turn it into like an NXT 2. Like the level above NXT, where people like Finn and Samoa Joe and stuff like and Baron Corbin go up to before moving to Raw, almost making the WWE like a 3-tiered system. And if that's what's going to happen, I think that's pretty cool, but I don't think Shane is going to win that match. So, So thank you for the question. Our final question of the show.
This is what I was groaning about earlier.
It is not a question, Keith. Can you clarify what this is?
I guess. You know what? True enough. It's autopilot at this point. So our final challenge of the show comes from Kane Yo-Yo.
Yo.
And it's as follows. Yo. Oh, wait, I'm stealing the infringement from the beginning of the show. Nonetheless, Kane Yo-Yo. Ryan, cut a Scott Steiner-like promo with enthusiasm. Juan, be the interviewer and interview, and myself will be the judge.
Now, Keith, since you will be the
me,
judge.
Kane? Why me?
What, Kane Yo-Yo, I love you.
I support your water drinking videos and everything, and this is how you repay me?
Yes. Okay, now, Keith, since you are the judge, you need to judge based on something that you know we are going to talk about. So what is the topic in which I will interview Scott Steiner?
Scott Steiner just bought himself a poodle.
I love this. Okay. Give me some really crappy segment intro music, Keith.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in the wacky world of professional wrestling. My name is Dick Hagenheimer. I am here at this point with one of the most popular superstars in wrestling history, who just bought himself a weapon that will change his career forever, a poodle. So at this time, the master of the Steiner Recliner, Scott Steiner. Steiner, how you doing?
I'm not doing great, man. I just bought this poodle. I can't do a Scott Steiner. I just bought this damn poodle. A genetic freak like me. I need a jacked up poodle. This poodle is fat.
Steiner, is it true that you will be at Access with this poodle and people can pet it?
I'm not gonna bring this fat ass poodle. I got no sympathy for this poodle. I ain't bringing it anywhere. It ain't a genetic freak. I got the largest arms in the world, and this poodle sucks.
Is it true that you and Judy Bagwell did the hibbity-dibbity?
I'm done.
All right.
It happened. I honestly thought that was going to get cut. It's in here.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy.
And now here's my judge. Order in the court. I give Ryan a passing grade, even though failing miserably, keeping in KFA. And Juan, you broke it. You broke it. You mentioned Judy Bagwell. You mentioned the hibbity-jibbity. Why would you talk about the hibbity-jibbity in a promo about
It's hibbity-dibbity, man, but still.
It's hibbity-dibbity.
With Scott Steiner and a poodle. What do you think? How do you think Scott Steiner rolls with a poodle? There's no hibbity-dibbity going on.
I talk about hibbity-dibbity between the poodle and Steiner? No.
Okay. All right, let's conclude this episode. No bestiality, okay?
Yeah. Oh, no. Let's leave it at that. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for our WrestleMania extravaganza edition of the podcast. We want to thank JTG once again. Remember, and Ryan will be shooting all the social media information, but I will be streaming this Saturday over at twitch.tv/Press Pause TV. So make sure to follow that channel so that way you're notified the moment I go live. And for everything else, Scott Steiner will be delivering the information.
We want to thank you guys for listening to another edition of the Byte That podcast. We gave our WrestleMania predictions, so no matter where you are, you want to tweet us or leave a comment on the YouTube video, leave your predictions for WrestleMania. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. And if you want to tell us over social media, you can access our Twitter by going to @ByteThatCast. Our Facebook is facebook.com/ByteThatCast, and you can catch our Instagram at Byte That. Once again, Juan will be streaming this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern over at Twitch TV/Press Pause TV, and head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ByteThatCast, where we're going to have a video every single day this week for our WrestleMania extravaganza, including that simulation of Roman Reigns versus Triple H, which you can watch right now, as well as top 10 WrestleMania stages and a lot more. And look out for a review. I'm just gonna say right there, a review post WrestleMania, giving our thoughts. It'll be at least me there Maybe the other guys will join me too. We'll see. So thank you guys for listening. Enjoy WrestleMania, and we'll see you next week.
Rapado!